And where would this be used?
Yeah, so the problem is around the capacitors. Yeah, so I'm trying to desolder them and see their resistance. Yeah.
And we got a prize last year, the win this year, to play in Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, the junior, and he was one of the trainers of the football team.
Oh.
So it's a
So you do both fixing radios and
Playing
soccer and training kids. Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
This come up.
Maybe different resistors, different resistors that you touch. One representing green, red, and blue. So you adjust the mixing of colors. So that's how the color will change.
Right, so you work up until you get the correct.
The right composition.
Informal Sector Business Institute, ISBI as we call it here, was started in 2003 as an initiative of Strathmore Educational Trust. Strathmore Educational Trust sponsors Strathmore University and Strathmore School as well. ISBI was started with the idea of availing the vast knowledge that Strathmore has in business to people in the informal sector. In the near future, very near future, ISBI plans to establish a College of Technology, the Eastlands College of Technology. Over the years, ISBI has made great strides in trying to achieve the objectives it set forth in 2003. That is training people in the informal sector. To date, over 400 micro-entrepreneurs have been trained in business management and computer skills. We also have over 2,700 young people who've gone through our courses in computers, youth program, life skills, and so on and so forth. Now, all these things have been possible thanks to the well-coordinated partnerships with respectable institutions like ISEP, an Austrian NGO that started us off in 2003. We also have Microsoft, Centum Investments, a local investment company. We have Samsung Electronics, which have come in very forcefully to help young people in these things as well.
I'm a former student at ISBI, where I underwent the Samsung Real Dreams Electronics program and the Microsoft Unlimited Potential program. I've benefited immensely as a result of this course by gaining the necessary skills and knowledge to help me to be self-employed, confident, and gain the life skills to enable me sustain myself in life.
As you will realize today that the majority of the graduates are young adults, but others have started experience the beautiful part of life, and the others are not. But young or not, believe me, we all have the same goals and dreams that we need to achieve in our lives. That is, being successful in life. And believe me, history is not made by any extraordinary person. It is between me and you that today, out of this graduation, we make one, so that the coming generation can be reading from us that in the past we made history, not us every day being reading from the books that there was a person somewhere, a group that made history. It is our time today that we make history.
Strathmore Educational Trust dates back a long way. It dates to the 1950s. That is a long way. And it's always been struggling to change the world. Many people are unaware that Strathmore, what was at that time Strathmore College, was the first school to bring in people from all races. that's pioneering a major transformation in the society. But nobody stops there. You move on to new challenges, whether it's the idea of trying to expand A-level output or accountancy output or whatever, but it's a continuous process. It's a vision of the future. The past is very nice, and it's always nice to look at the past and sort of pat yourself on the back and say, didn't we do well? But never rest on doing well. Always look forward. As has been mentioned, the Eastlands Training Centre will occur. It'll happen. It's one of those things which starts as a dream, and here I turn to Samsung very, very much. I like their idea of dreams, because if you don't dream, you never go anywhere.
We've worked with ISBI for close to 5 years, and it's been a big pleasure because it's helped our program grow. And a lot of what we've learned from here in Kenya working with ISBI, we've been able to carry it to other parts of Africa where we have similar programs. So one thing as an organization, Microsoft vision is to enable businesses and individuals realize their potential. And when you look at a program like this with ISBI, what we call Microsoft Unlimited Potential, I listened to people like Charles and Andrew talk about how by going through ISBI programs, the way it's been able to impact their lives. Then as Microsoft, we're actually seeing that we are making a role in changing the world. And that's simply what we are trying to do as an organization. Even with our products and the services we develop, we are one of the leading organizations in the world, but it's only important for us to say so if we're actually being able to impact the communities where we work with. So in terms of our programs, we call it citizenship. We want to look at ourselves as a company as being one other citizen in the world or in the country. So as a citizen, we ask ourselves, what are you doing for our country? What are you doing for our continent? What are you doing for our world? So we have the program in Microsoft, as I said, we call it Microsoft Unlimited Potential. And more specifically, I want to briefly talk about one arm of it, which we call Enabling Jobs and Opportunities. That's whereby the program you have with ISBI falls under. And simply what you're trying to do is, we're asking ourselves, what are the kind of skills people really need for them either to join the formal market or for them to be entrepreneurs? And when you come down further to look at our continent, Africa, whereby a good chunk of more than half the people in Africa are young people, and knowing the realities we face at the moment and even from historically, one of the things that comes out clearly is that we need to encourage more of the young people not to look only at the formal sector of the economy, but the informal sector. And that's one of the things that attracted us to ISBI. And looking at the Isla Center, it's actually even closer for me, Isla Center. I was born and brought up right down the road from where Isla Center is. And it's been a long path for me up to where I am. But I know one thing is, there's a lot of opportunities, there's a lot of challenges growing up in maybe, for example, Eastlands or other areas like Kangware. But we all have a need in ourselves to be able to rise above these challenges and do something great for ourselves. We don't all have to work for a big company like Microsoft, but we can be able to do something small.
Now, last year sent some investment, and I was amazed that Microsoft calls it community affairs. For us, since we're an investment company, we call it corporate social investment. So we have got many names to call it. We donated about slightly more than 500,000 shillings to sponsor students and also to begin something we call the business incubator, some fund sort of where money revolves around, and it's there perpetually to help people, where you can dip in, get some money, help you do your business, and then once you get more money, you pay back that money so that you can help someone else. I am informed that there are 25 people today who have benefited from the bursary that we gave, which is part of the money we donated. And there are two groups, or two people, I would call them, who have benefited from the fund. One of them being William Kamau, who has been able to buy a generator because he was doing events, and he needed a generator because, you know, these days they say that they steam alone, but you need to be a bit more organized. So if you're doing, for example, managing events like that, is an event manager. So he needed money to start to get a generator so that he can stabilize his business. And for sure, maybe he had it very difficult going to the banks, and maybe you don't even have any security, and you don't maybe have a credibility behind you or assets to secure it. Now that fund helped him get that generator so that he can be able to do his business. For us, that's what we call social investment. We want him to succeed in using that generator to generate returns, like we call them in investments. Once he's able to get the money, he pays back the 60,000 to the fund. Then someone else in future will be able again to come and dip into the fund and get the money to help him start something else. And that way it's perpetual. We hope that we will be able to continue with this because this is the kind of thing we want to support. It's near our business. We want to see someone start something and make it grow as a business.
Please put your hands together for Miss Gloria Nampio.
I'm really glad to be here today as part of this graduation program for ISBI. But I'll just specifically talk about the Samsung Real Dreams program, which is a partnership between Samsung Electronics, the International Youth Foundation, and various NGOs. The program aims to increase economic activity in the region, particularly by promoting job skills and preparing young people for successful long-term careers. It's been implemented in 4 countries, which is Kenya, Nigeria, Egypt, Kenya, and South Africa, beg your pardon. And they've teamed up with NGOs in each of these countries. The whole program in Africa is costing, or rather we've put in about $2 million, and in Kenya the investment is $350,000. We're working with 3 NGOs in Kenya, which is ISBI, African Center for Women in Information and Communications Technology, and Nairobi's. And each of the NGOs is implementing their own youth and employment development programs, delivering training in life skills, ICT, entrepreneurship, as well as providing work experience through internships. The entire program, on completion, we're expecting to benefit about 1,000 people, and our focus is on enabling people who come from the underprivileged areas. When we partnered with ISBI, our intention was to create a more market-friendly youth program, and it has benefited young men who come from low-income areas in Nairobi. For the youth that have been trained and graduated through this program, we are proud of you, and we encourage you to stand tall and confident in your approach, and approach life with energy and enthusiasm as you join the job market or as you start your businesses and reap the fruits of your training. We'd like to also congratulate ISBI for the years that they have put in successfully assisting the youth. And we're really excited to have partnered with them through the Samsung Real Dreams program. And we find it particularly inspiring that the courses offered here equip the beneficiaries with long-term life skills that they can keep referring back to in their quest to improve their livelihoods. I congratulate all the young men who are graduating today and encourage them to share their experiences, both good and bad, with your peers, especially with a view towards helping each other grow. In other words, I'm asking you to be mentors. Before I conclude, Professor Ryan mentioned that he liked the electronics course because it was a very practical course. I'd like to give you a very practical example of how already the program has benefited me personally in my household. I had called the center because I had a problem with my oven. It wasn't working very well. I like to bake cakes with my son, and we were not having much success. So I called them in and I asked them whether they would send some guys to come and see what the problem was. Duncan, Martin, and Charles, if you please come forward. I'm not a technical person. I wasn't there when they opened up the oven, but I'd like them to tell you exactly what they found.
What we actually found in her oven, there were just minor problems. First of all, okay, to me it's minor, but in her case it was major. We found like several elements had gone. There was a gas leak, and the rest, I think she took a look at it. She can tell you the difference from when she bought it, and thank you.
Okay, he's actually being very modest. I was horrified when I saw what the inside of the oven looked like. In short, I think at one point when they were trying to, because it's a gas electric oven, the major problem actually turned out to be with the gas. And it actually caused a minor explosion. And according to them, they told me that they did save my life and my family's life and my home. And I appreciate them for that. Thanks very much.
The next generation of Kenyan businesses and Kenyan manufacturing businesses should be coming from initiatives such as this. And it is our responsibility to acknowledge that, applaud you, and when you come out, to be able to give you a helping hand as you start and grow your business. So I am actually very excited and very pleased to be here. So for those of you who have survived the course, who have taken the challenge, sacrificed your time to learn some more, and to now be able to go out into the field, I think we really want to applaud you and say congratulations. And it was a good effort on your part to invest in your education and preparing yourself for the market, whether you're going to be employed or whether you're going to start your own business. From what I have understood here, most of you actually will start their own businesses or will continue with their own businesses. Some of you are already working for somebody else. But one of the most beautiful things that you can come to your work with is with some level of training and a skill that you can sell and that you can use to enrich yourself. One of the challenges we faced as we've seen all these government programs and other support to empower young people is recognizing that many people, when they finally get that money, basically go and start a little retail shop or hawking business, selling scratch cards or selling electronics. And the reason for that is not that there's nothing wrong with, obviously that sort of business, but when you have a whole town crowded with everybody doing exactly the same thing, the challenge is because not enough people actually have skills to go and do something else, to go and do crafts work, to go and do repair work as you're doing, which are really highly paying jobs right now, not just in this economy, but in many other economies. So I think for those of you who've taken the step to actually go and learn a skill, go and learn a craft, it is very commendable because not many young people are doing that. But I would like to tell you that in the global market right now, not just in Kenya alone, but in the global market, those are very, very attractive and very, very rewarding skills. Just finding a skilled person, like for us, looking for a mason or a plumber or a fitter for our work is very difficult because you don't have enough trained people coming out, and therefore that's why I'm not surprised that many of you who have gone through this course are already employed, because there's a shortage for that sort of skills. So we congratulate you for making that